All right, hello everybody. Welcome to the Friday before the tournament. This is probably one of the last few good games. I'm going to be casting this. This is a game between Uprise and Push. Both of them are the dominant European clans that have been playing this version of the game for the last 2 or 3 years. They have been playing pretty consistently, almost every weekend, practicing, developing strategies, working together. Here's the last game. Well, I'm not sure if it's the last game, but there's the sixth game today between these two teams. They both seem to be ready, and it's about to start. The captain on top is LionInCage, OGKush versus, and also co-captain Nox versus MantisShrimp Terry, and I think um, he doesn't really have a co-captain. Punisher is not here today. And I think they all kind of make the calls together. They are like a Borg collective. All right, the game loaded up real quick, and on the bottom we have Red Star on the Dread, LionInCage on the Void Ray, Muse on the Raven, DesktopPanda with a 4-3-1 build, Nox with a standard Plague, Unox with a mini ammo, and on top we have BabinHood on the Levy. He has been playing Levy quite a bit lately. They have a double support comp, and ooh, I like this Arbiter with Illusions. So they do have Raven with EMP and an Arbiter with Illusions, faking this illusion of the Dread. He will likely eat the EMP. And on the bottom, the last ship, we have Rosta with a standard plague. Let's see him eat the EMP. The Raven is getting in place. He's pretending. Oh, he ate the mini Yamato. He ate the EMP. There it is. And that illusion was already all worthwhile. If well executed. He ate the plague as well. Oh my goodness. Meanwhile, Madknight stayed at base and actually got the right amount of energy. The second EMP fell on the right destroyer. Here comes the bombard on Red Star on the side, and this is just to help his overlord win the bottom. I believe these illusions just basically won the game for them, to be honest. Something happened to the Void Ray. They did go back maybe for additional energy, I'm not sure. Oh, eating a Plague in 2 in the middle. Madknight and Ariga versus Nox. Nox has thrown a very good Plague. I think they have realized which one's the fake destroyer, though that is always kind of confusing. And here we have DesktopPanda facing off 2 destroyers. Oh, is there going to be a second Plague? No, they definitely don't want to bring the 2 destroyers together to get a Plague. Ariga and Pringl now are overlapping. They will eat a Plague together. This is pretty terrible, but he is trying to find a target for his EMP. Maybe the EMP is best landed on Muse. Maybe not. Alright, let's see what happens here on the bottom. The Red Star, the destroyer, he's just eating plagues one after the other for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And that will send him home very soon. There's LionInCage comes in the middle, and he is using the Nova. That does tend to break up crowds and break up parties. Um, let's see what happens. So it's interesting that the pushier comp ended up going back home first. However, the bottom here, Rosta is in a very good position to have a warp trick on him. His destroyers need to heal, so they can't warp onto him yet, but he is threatening the warp. BabinHood at the very top, he's kind of free farming, and he's also threatening the warp. I think the middle is getting caught up. Oh, will the destroyers warp? They do have warp. One of them has warp anyway. He's warping, there it is, and the Raven. So only one destroyer will not do the trick here. Babins has eaten a plague as well that will pretty much stop that dead in its tracks. If we look at the farm, it's exactly even. It's perfectly even. In fact, the two teams are very well matched and well balanced, and we are to see what will happen here. But I really do love this innovation of the illusion. We've been trying it out lately. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Really depends on how well it is put to use. But But if you fake it well enough, that illusion can really eat and absorb a lot of damage. I think Nox is no longer fooled by that illusion. Oh no, and they eat another plague in two. Ariga and Madknight like to share those plagues. They already knew that the illusion was a bait, and here's the illusion. An EMP lands on both Nox and Unox. Not a coincidence that their name is Nox and Unox. It's Nox number 1, Nox number 2. So double bombard on Nox. These destroyers have had enough of plagues, and they're also, one of them, actually no, they don't have the bots necessary to heal. Madknight is targeting bombard on Unox. I think Muse actually has not been doing his homework. He was full energy and he was basically sitting on a couple of EMPs. Then ended up EMPing the Dread after the Dread had already unloaded all of his bombards. Now Muse has woken up. He's going for Rosta. He got Rosta. I'm really interested to see how this comp with 2 Zergs on the side lanes and a solid middle with 2 supports and 2 Dreads will do. The Voidery will have a little bit of a harder time against the 2 supports. However, the Voidery does power up faster than the Levy here. So the Voidery will be a better kill mechanism earlier, and maybe it will be able to isolate one of the supports and get rid of it quickly. Here comes an EMP on Terry. That was Terry's real ship. He's pretending to be an illusion, but he is indeed real. We can verify this. Terry has 300 energy, hasn't been getting a lot of farm. He only has 2 lasers, and we have the Raven with 0 lasers. Oh, here's a plague and multiple Ariga. We'll eat the plague with Madknight again. That is the 3rd plague they like to eat together. They just love to share plagues. Nox will get EMP'd as a result. DesktopPanda, as standard operating practice here, he likes to upgrade first and come out first and hold the line. I like what he's doing. He's just collecting that extra farm that's hitting the towers before it's hitting the towers. He is getting bombarded on his hardened shields, so that was not a lot of damage. And Babin, here we go. Everybody notices that Pringl is actually not a real ship, so they try to ignore him and bypass and move on, but they are. That illusion of Pringl has eaten a lot of damage, despite them knowing that it was fake. Oh, and Nox here launches a plague on 2 on Rosta and Pringl. He also siphoned Pringl a couple times so that there's no bombard happening. It's interesting. Nox got plagued, and here we go. The illusion has again been able to put some distance between the red team and the blue team, allowing the blue team to go home relatively healthy. Push is on top and Uprise is on the bottom. Oh, another plague between Ariga and Madknight. This is plague number 4 that they've been sharing together. They just don't want to eat plagues alone. That's very important. That adds up, right? In terms of damage, it adds quite a bit. Unox trades 1 mini ammo for 1 bombard. LionInCage is baiting Rosta to throw one of the siphons or the plagues on him. He did not manage to do so. Oh, Madknight was not able to stop that warp on DesktopPanda. Panda is already back together with Lion, and they're ready to come out together. Go together, warp together, ride together, die together. Maybe, maybe not. We'll see. Now we have BabinHood On the right hand side on the bottom lane, he's kiting this destroyer pretty well. He manages, he actually has one of the top farms, if not the top farm on the board, 389, 390, and it's only going up. I can barely keep up with it. He's gonna be threatening very, very soon. He's gonna have what it takes to threaten. In fact, he got more acid tools that allow him to do splash damage to a variety of ships, also lower their armor. LionInCage, on the other hand, he's gotten a bunch of different spells. He's also threatening with 6 beam, but he also has farm deniability with his Nova, and he's at any moment able to pounce blink on somebody. Let's see, the blue team is folding. They're folding back together. They already know again that Pringl is not the real Pringl, and that illusion does push the team back nevertheless, even though they know it's an illusion. It does absorb their damage, their lasers. There's the mini ammo on it. There are missiles on it. It's interesting that Terry is still on illusions, so again, he does not have a ton of farm, so he's only creating illusions. I think he would love to grab that Petra farm. If only he had Storm, but he doesn't. He's not able to get it. Oh my goodness. He is trying to be denied, but no, he got quite a bit of it, and then Madknight decided, I'm going to dispatch that before the tower gets done with it. Will they eat the plague together? Ariga and... okay, that EMP did hit. So it turns out Ariga has upgraded his enhanced systems, that's how we know, and another one that hit both Muse and Nox. Good job, Ariga. Better to EMP people together than to eat plagues together, that's for sure. Here comes a bombard. It was a kind of a miss. Airball. Kush goes back to base. Let's see what he upgrades. We can't because the base is blocking, but we'll see very soon. Panda has stayed out of the fight spheres for a while. He's happy just farming with his level 0 escorts. But fear not, Panda is ready at an instant to turn in and apply additional pressure and additional damage. BabinHood will take advantage of this weakness for now. And things are again back to even. The farm scores are equal. Everything is equal. Oh, LionInCage is at the very top. He is actually threatening a warp trick, and he's asking probably his team to warp. But there's really not a lot of warp potential. Really, Red Star is really the only one that can warp. He baited out the EMP. That's very interesting. Panda is really just coming down on his own, creating a little bit of chaos as he usually likes to do. He likes to stir the pot. This illusion, you never know if it's real or not, so you always kind of have to worry. Lion did consider crossing over to the other side, but he realized that he's not going to be able to take down Babin. Oh, what a cross warp. Very interesting cross warp. And here comes a bombard. An attempt on Red Star's life. Babin continues farming while he's threatening, caused the red team to regroup together, all effectively isolating LionInCage and Rosta on the very top lane. So Lion is actually threatening a kill on the Overlord. It's interesting that that cross warp on the blue team actually ended up costing them more at the very top than gaining at the very bottom, which is it's very interesting. And here comes another plague between Pringl and Ariga. So Ariga has eaten now 5 plagues together, at least 5 that we could count. Oh, nope, that did not blink properly. The bioplasma discharge against Kush, and he ended up eating it despite trying to blink it. It's also interesting that they have swapped spots. So Rosta's on the bottom now, Babin's is on the very top. Babin decided that he likes to face the void ray now that he has more farm and he's able to have free reign. So if we look at LionInCage, he's got 560 and Babin has 580. They're neck and neck, and they will fight together. This is to protect Rosta, who has a lower farm score, but also he's a little bit squishier ship. OG says no, we will not have it. He gets 12 beam and 6 shields. I believe he has phase shields, he has flux veins, he has all the upgrades that one needs to kill. He did absorb that, denied all that farm, blinked the siphon, cloaked the side blast, cloaked the side blast again. He wasn't able to cloak that one, that contaminates too fast. And let's see, desktop and red star. He actually cloaked the plague too. Wow, wow, and he blinks again the siphon. This is incredible. He actually managed to get everything, all of the OV spells. Has no more energy, and OG is pushing freely. Let's see what's happening here in the middle. While OG is free farming, there is a plague. It seems like the red team is chasing the blue team, although the blue team is definitely tankier and can definitely afford to turn. Likely they will turn in this cloud. EMP falls on Nox. They trade because the siphon falls onto the Raven. Are they going to turn? No, they can't turn because Kush is actually farming their base right behind their backs. That's incredible. Incredible. With 2 supports and an overlord with siphon, Kush is able to just ballsy farm with complete careless attitude, I guess. Oh, Kush is out of energy, and the Void Ray with no energy is not a happy Void Ray. It's interesting, Madknight has just gotten cover, here it is, and they're able to block a lot of the damage on the smaller ships. The small ships can hide behind them. What they can't hide from is Kush's beam. So that cover will only be useful in so far as missiles go and other direct damage, but it won't block the Void Ray beam. Oh, well, this will get interrupted. Oh no! Red Star did manage to get out of there. I wonder if there would have been a bombard that would have interrupted that warp, and he would have been in real trouble. Unox was ready with the lockdown to stop that bombard at any minute, but nevertheless, that would be a problem. LionInCage is just eating everything. He denies a lot of farm. He eats a lot of farm. In fact, Lion, with that little stunt of his, was able to gather more farm and get to the very top of the scoreboard with now 800 farm plus. Babin is about 60 to 80 farm behind him. I suspect what will happen is that there will be a push with the tanks onto the left hand side, allowing the Void Ray to isolate and kill something on the right hand side. Oh, here, quite the opposite. In fact, they actually had a warp on the top. He's pushing, but he doesn't have the backing of his tanks. He cannot push into that. That was a great plague. So the threat of Lion is basically getting all the tanks to gather up, and then the plague just decimates them. Plague is specifically to contain balls. It's a nice crowd control spell. So is Contaminate, and that's exactly what they do here, which actually forced the blue team to go back. As I mentioned earlier, the blue team is tankier, and the blue team definitely can push back against this Void Ray. But not if they eat stuff together, like Ariga and Madknight. Now Ariga ate that plague solo. I'm sure he's feeling lonely.
Upgrade complete. Upgrade complete. Upgrade complete. Upgrade complete.
And the blue team has been decimated and has lost all the ships, has given up, called GG. And Lion will be finishing and wrapping up all of the kills here. Racking in only a total of 3 kills. And that is game. Thank you everyone for watching. Look forward to the next game.